Good evening, this is Maddie Phillips and thank you for watching Enigma Channel 4 News. Word from the Supreme Court has issued that Justice Stephen Breyer will be retiring from his seat at the end of the current term. He has remained on the court for 27 years and has remained a centrist. Even though Breyer is one of the three remaining liberals, he is known for his pendulum-like decisions in Supreme Court rulings. During the early months of Joe Biden's presidency, many Democrats begged for Justice Stephen Breyer to retire while they had the majority in the Senate and control in the White House. However, Breyer refused to do so as they believed this would politicize the Supreme Court. But recently, Justice Stephen Breyer chose to retire from his chair in the Supreme Court due to the 6-3 conservative majority and the unavailability of compromise in the court. Justice Stephen Breyer is aware that this will leave a chair for President Joe Biden's next nominee and a chance to leave behind a legacy. Thank you.
President Biden warned Russia's Vladimir Putin that Russia will face tough consequences if Ukraine is attacked or invaded. The UN Security Council met Monday to discuss the conflict between Russia and Ukraine and try to avoid any conflict breaking out. This comment comes from a response to Russia's threat to invade Ukraine. Russia's intent of invading goes back to 1991 when Ukraine left the Soviet Union and took a great deal of the Russian resources. Russia and Ukraine have been in a conflict since 2014 when they started an underlying war. Russia has moved troops, military bases, and weaponry to the Russian and Ukraine border. Russia has even moved missiles into the area and over 100,000 troops to the border. President Biden has warned all Americans in the Ukraine area to leave immediately because President Biden does not want any attacks on Ukraine soil while American lives are still present. Biden also says in a statement that he will not involve the U.S. in any military combat if the two nations go at it. He uses evidence from the situation with Afghanistan last year. Details from this story are still being revealed. We will continue to bring continued information on this story. Thank you.
San Jose has passed a new gun mandate that is the first of its kind. The mandate will require gun owners in San Jose to carry liability insurance and pay a yearly fee. The insurance is meant to cover any losses or damages by negligent or accidental use of a firearm. The annual harm reduction fee is meant to be collected by nonprofits for firearm safety education. Many gun right groups that had threatened to sue over the new gun mandate if it was passed. And only a couple hours after the city of San Jose passed the mandatory law, the National Association for Gun Rights sued them for making the new requirement unlawful and unconstitutional.
Did it immediately because we wanted to make it very clear that there were ramifications to passing America's most insane gun control. And where else is it going to happen but California?
Mayor Sam Liccardo says that the law will not disrupt the city's timeline. And on the 8th of February, the ordinance will be read a second time and voted on. If it is approved, it will take effect 6 months later.
Thanks to a more recent analysis, living cells within breast milk provides aid to breast cancer research. Research led by the Wellcome MRC Cambridge Stem Cell Institute and the Department of Pharmacology at the University of Cambridge led to the discovery. Examinations have examined the cellular differences in human mammary tissue during lactation, and non-lactating women provide insight into the relationship between pregnancy, lactation, and breast cancer. Breast tissue is dynamic, changing over time during puberty, pregnancy, and breastfeeding and aging. This research, led by Alcia Jane Twigger of CSCI, found that the cells in milk, once thought to be dead or dying, are very much alive. In studying these cells, researchers gain insight into not only the changes that occur in mammary tissues during lactation, but they also can see what may be an early indicator of future breast cancer. This greater ease of access to breast cells can open the door to more studies on women's health in the future.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has launched his 20th consecutive lawsuit against the Biden administration. This lawsuit comes from a decision the administration made to reinstate the Central American Minors Refugee and Parole Program, also known as CAM. This program will allow certain minors from different countries such as Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala to be put in position for permanent citizenship here in the U.S. This lawsuit will also be supported by 7 other states. Those states include Arkansas, Alaska, Florida, Indiana, Missouri, Montana, and Oklahoma. The qualifications for this program include a family member that resides in the U.S., and they must vouch for them. Attorney generals from each of those 7 states that are part of the lawsuit visited the southern Mexico-U.S. border this week to give statements about this and give their opinions on strengthening the border. I was on the scene for their statements, and here's more from the developing story. Hi, good evening. Nick Baker here, and we are live from the Mexico and U.S. border. Today I am here with Oklahoma Attorney General John O'Connor. Thank you for meeting with me today, John. I was going to ask you, can you just please explain your reason for Oklahoma to join this lawsuit?
Yeah, well, the Biden administration, their lack of leadership on illegal immigration is directly impacting our nation. And the CAM program was created without even considering its impact on Oklahoma or Texas and the continuing crisis at the southern border. So it's time to fix the problem President Biden created for this nation.
Thank you, John. You heard it here first, live. Please tune in to this channel later in the evening. This is Enigma Channel 4. Back to you in the studio.
Due to the retirement of Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer, President Joe Biden promises to nominate a Black woman to the Supreme Court by the end of February 2022. President Biden first made this promise in South Carolina and hopes to carry it out. Numerous Black women are in favor and thank President Biden's promise to nominate a woman of color. This is the first time a Black woman will be participating in the Supreme Court in 200 years. President Biden's nomination has not been chosen yet, but there is a list of potential and qualified women who can partake in the Supreme Court seat, like U.S. District Judge J. Michelle Childs. President Biden claims that he will choose someone who has extraordinary qualifications, character, experience, and integrity. President Biden hopes to use this opportunity to appeal to the Black community and give colored women a voice in politics.
The National Park Service has just announced its approval for the first ever entrance fees for Indiana Dunes National Park. The fees will begin on March 31st of this year. These fees are going to help fund visitor services in the park, such as the parking, transportation, and bike trails. Fees will vary depending on how a person enters the park. Walking, biking, or boating will cost $15 per person, up to a maximum of $25 per family. A motorbike pass will cost $20, while a car pass will cost $25. An annual pass to Indiana Dunes National Park will cost $45, plus a commercial fee of up to $100 for a motor coach. Veterans and military members will not have to pay an entrance fee. The park superintendent, Paul Labovitz, says, "This is a positive step to keep the park accessible, safe, and vibrant for all, while allowing us to grow and meet the increased needs of our visitors."
Do you want to?
Yeah, it's recording.
Oh, is it? Oh, lovely.
The park superintendent. Oh, just shut off. Okay.
President Biden
I mean, the
warned Russia.
a direct impact on our nation. So we're gonna have to read it.
Just keep
No,
it
you're
going.
fine. You're fine. Thank you.
That has to be it on GoPo reel.
My grandkids would go, Nanny!
Hey, school projects. I think we're done here.
Nanny!